When I was a child, I wanted to be a pop star, and now I'm a record shop owner at Steel Wheels. Just through being a record fan since the age of 9 and collecting music. So this is like the next best thing, you know. I suppose if you couldn't make it to be a footballer, you become a football manager, or if you're really, really wealthy, you buy a football club. I didn't really have any control because it was a midlife crisis, you know. I'm tone deaf and I couldn't play an instrument, so it was kind of like limiting.
When I was a child, I wanted to be an actor. Now I'm a filmmaker. I enjoy doing the filmmaking. I think it's, from the point of view, it's very creative. That's what I like about it, as opposed to being an actor. You don't really have control over what you're doing. It's someone else is controlling what is expected of you. I went to South Africa, and whilst I was at university on a work placement, and whilst I was there, decided that I wanted to get behind the camera. I had a cameraman at the time that I was going to be working with in South Africa, but it was the first democratic elections in South Africa, so the cameraman unfortunately was transported to another part of South Africa for the elections. So basically I picked up a camera and I started shooting, and I thought, hey, I quite enjoy doing this, and it became very enjoyable meeting people and talking to them about their experiences. I don't think so, because I've learned a tremendous amount, and I don't think I would have learned as much if there hadn't been obstacles in the way, and it makes you stronger as a person when you kind of make mistakes, and obviously you learn from them, and life is a learning process, and it makes you a stronger person. It sounds a bit like Lance Armstrong, that doesn't kill you, makes you stronger, which is true.
When I was a child, I wanted to be an artist, and now I'm a drag queen. Well, the first time I actually dressed up in drag was actually for my 18th birthday party, and I found that even though my costume was really cheap and quite terrible, I looked alright, and people gave me a lot of compliments for it. From that point, I sort of had an interest in the whole art form, and I realised that it was something I could do and that I enjoyed and that I was quite good at. Now, I've been doing drag for probably maybe about 9 years now, would you believe? And it's actually taken me all sorts of places. I work all over the region. I've even been to Ibiza for 6 months working in drag, getting paid gigs. And funnily enough, because it's something that I'm good at, and I feel like if you're in the right place doing the right thing that's good for you and it suits you, sometimes that little bit of magic happens. And the nice thing about doing drag is there's always something else that you can do. There's always room to grow. You know, there's drag queens that are 60 years old, and I'm not 60 yet, and I'm far from it, so there's always a new thing that you can bring in, there's always a new concept, there's always a new, whether you cross it with another world, like the burlesque world, or the circus skills world, or I think that with the way my career has developed, it's almost like surfing. You know that you want to surf, but then when the wave hits you, you can ride the wave, but the wave's kind of taking you as well, and that's quite a beautiful feeling as well. So I don't know exactly where my career is going to go next, but I know that it's going to go somewhere, and I know that it's going to evolve and blossom.
When I was a child, I wanted to be a racing car driver. Now I am a journalist. I didn't know I wanted to be a journalist until I went to university, and I was going to be, I thought, an accountant because I was studying economics, but actually I realised that I was enjoying reading newspapers more than I was enjoying the economics, and so I decided to become involved in my student magazine, at university, and then once I graduated I decided to look for jobs in journalism. Can't think of another job that would be a better fit for my personality. There's lots of variety. I get bored very easily, so yeah, I love what I do. I can't really think of doing anything else. I enjoy driving, but no, I think that all stemmed from my favourite toy when I was 4 was a little green racing car, and I think that just is where it stems from. And I had Scalextrics and all that sort of stuff as a kid, but no, I never actually managed to try and be a racing driver.
When I was younger, I wanted to be a television announcer. Now I'm station director of Radio Tyneside. I ended up working in the civil service, and through that I met Mike Neville, who used to present BBC's Look North programme, who introduced me to hospital radio, Radio Tyneside, which I've been at for 39 years, and I'm now the station director. I love my current job, but it's time to retire.
When I was young, I wanted to be a radio DJ, and now I'm Chief Executive of the Radio Academy. So my whole life's ambition was to be a radio DJ, and I went along to the BBC, and I got into the BBC as a technical operator. Then they gave me a job as being a DJ, and then for 25 years I was known as Morgan in the Morning, and I used to broadcast on radio stations all over the UK. And I also then moved into management, so I'm also working as management. I retired 2 years ago. And so now I run the whole of the radio industry's Radio Academy, and I still, for my sins, I'm a radio DJ on a number of radio stations throughout the year. So I get the benefit of both.
When I grow up, I want to be an artist because I like drawing. Bunny rabbit.